What's up, family? This is Professor XSlave, your general in political science in these perilous times. So help us God. Coming to you today with a book that I favor a lot. I feel like it's really good in this time to study or reference. I'm going to read some excerpts from the novel to give you an idea of what's in it. It's called The Great Devaluation by Adam Barata. How to embrace, prepare, and profit from the coming global monetary reset. And this is the same author of Gold is a Better Way. For all you investors in gold, um, you probably have heard of this book. I've read it or heard of Gold is a Better Way. It is. I've heard of it before. I've not gotten into it myself, but it is definitely on my to do list. Definitely gotta get into Gold is a Better Way. But this one jumped out to me back in the day, uh, or basically when it came out, because I always heard about and researched the Great Reset, but this book in particular is fairly new, in the sense that it was written recently. Like it was just recently written in, what was it? It was like last year or so. Let me see. 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. It was written. Um, Give me one second, because it's based around COVID and currently the pandemic that we have going on. No, 2020. Oh yeah, it was written last year. My bad. 2020. So, um, let me see. Where's a good start? I just want to read some excerpts that I thought would be pretty prevalent right now. Something to give you an idea of what it is, and definitely get this book. I got mine from Amazon. You can do the same. Barnes and Noble and all them places have it as well. I would say, if you can, get it from your local bookstore. Support the man, not the machine. Uh, and yeah, jump right into it. So this is an excerpt from the third chap. What is this? Sorry about that. It's an excerpt from the third chapter. It's called For a Few Dollars More. And it starts as such. According to the US debtclock.org, the national debt of the United States is currently 23.25 trillion. Now, stopping right here. Now, at the current writing of this novel, it was 23.25 trillion. At the current time of me recording this, it is nearing 29 trillion. So 28 trillion right now, and yeah, that just shows you how much debt the country is excelling in, and why I stress so much to check out people like Pastor Dowell, YouTube channel, Straightway. Check out other people who can teach you how to build a homestead community, to live off the land, hunt, fish, build foundational property, all that. Build yourself a nice little shelter. Learn how to do all that, because things are going to get tough. But continuing on, let me start over. According to the US clock.org, the national debt of the United States is currently 23.25 trillion. It is growing at a speed of 2 million per minute, 120 million per hour, 2.9 billion per day, and 88 billion per month. In 2019, the United States ran a deficit of over 1 trillion. Believe it or not, this runaway national debt understates the actual problem. When factoring in unfunded liabilities, the total debt of the United States is over 122 trillion today. What exactly is an unfunded liability, you may ask? These are promises to pay made by our government, mostly in the form of Social Security and Medicare. And give me 1 second. That goes into some more stuff that would be better for you to check out in the novel yourself. Let me skip along here. Okay. In 2019, the United States brought in 3.2 trillion in taxes against expenditures of 4.4 trillion. So the United States brought in 3.2 trillion off our tax money, and the bills and how much we spent was 4.4 trillion. So continuing on, it says this amounts to a deficit of 1.2 trillion. We spend 30% more annually than what we bring in through revenues and taxes. But these percentages barely register because the numbers have become too big to comprehend. In the 1960s, Senator Everett Dickerson famously said, "A billion here and a billion there, and pretty soon you're talking about real money." Little did he know that 50 years later, the problem will literally be 1,000 times worse. 1,000 times worse. I just had to say that again, just to show you how crazy or ghastly the issue is that the United States is facing. Here we go. Can anyone truly understand what 1 trillion of anything is? These numbers are impossible to get our minds around. Perhaps it helps to consider this another way. 1 million seconds equal to 11 days of time. 1 billion seconds equals 32 years. 1 trillion seconds equals 32,000 years. They say time equals money, and this amount of time offers a clue to the amount of money we can never repay and the amount of time it may take us to pay it back. Let me see. One second here. So it goes into some more stuff that would be, let me see. Yes, there'd be some really good stuff that for you to check out for yourself. Let me see. Okay, 1 second. Corporate bypass. Yeah, but you pretty much get the idea. This country is fucked royally. And we as a people, we have to learn to work together and work towards building a strategy to live off the land, to detach ourselves from this system, because when this system collapses, we will have nowhere to run. Being within these cities, being in the confines of their rule in whatever regime that's going to be in power. So keep in mind that prior to redlining, our people lived near swamps, the coastal lands. We are naturally coastal people. It's only recent times that we started living in cities. We didn't live this life prior to the Civil War, even a little bit after the Civil War. But you get my point. We need to get back to our ancestors. I like to always say, bring it back. How many of you, your parents or your grandparents, they grew up eating and knowing how to hunt, fish, and they ate squirrel, snake, rabbit, turtle, deer, and And if they didn't, they had family members who did. And some of you today, if you don't do it yourselves, you at least have one family member who, if you stick them out there in the woods, they good. You come back in a month's time, they're going to have a nice little hut. They're going to have know the bears by name, the bear neighbors, and they're going to be going on about their business. Whereas we don't understand that life. And I've talked to brothers and sisters who are acquainting themselves with living off the land, who are Israelites by faith, and they love it. They love living off the land. And that's something that planting crops and raising cattle, that's something that we as a people, we need to get back to understanding and being a part of. Because Babylon's going to fall. Oh, wait. One thing that I know I didn't get into. One more little excerpt. Where is it? Because this one I find to be really interesting. This is a very well written novel. It's definitely, I'm glad I picked it up for sure. Where is it? One more little excerpt. Let's see here. Maybe a little further down. I know it's around in this area. Okay. Let's see. Is this it? Oh, here we go. Now this chapter in particular is talking about when is the best time for the federal government to jump in and save the economy. So prior to, here we go. Okay, so in 1981, it says here, 1981, our federal interest rate was 18%. So the average for the federal interest is well, I'm just gonna read it to you, and it's because I got it from the book. I might as well just read the book. 18% in 1981. The Fed interest rate was 9% in 1991. So that was just 10-year difference, and it dropped 9 points. So the Fed is what saves an economy. The government jumping in, buying bonds, saves the economy, and keeps us out of an inflation or government collapse. Like inflation comes, it's a byproduct of this, of the Fed jumping in and America not being able to pay its bills. But it's not an utter collapse. So, and our Fed interest rate was 18% in 1981, 9% in 1991, 6% in 2000. The number was 5% in 2008. So the current Fed interest rate is 0%. It's been like that for a while. It's been hovering. But it has tax on the dollar has been going down. The interest rate for it has been going down substantially. So we're still at 0%. So it says right here, and this is where the book starts. It says, this means that when faced with the next recession, the Fed would need to lower rates from 1.5% to 0%, which again it already is, and then need to print between 10 to 18 trillion just to offset the recession. What do What do you suppose will happen to the value of the U.S. dollar if the Fed was forced to print tens of trillions of dollars? The other solution, of course, would be to go to negative 3.5% with interest rates. If rates were negative 3.5%, it will mean that a bank deposit of $100,000 will be worth $96,500 in 1 year. So $3,500 will be taken out of your account, or your $100,000 will have the value of $96,500 because of the if the Fed jumps in, and that's where it's guesstimated that it will be around 3.5%, negative 3.5%. Because they say it takes 3.5% to save an economy. Typically, that's the average to dig it out of recession by printing money. And with us being currently at 0%, it does us no favors. So, resuming reading here, going back, it says if rates were negative 3.4%, it would mean that a deposit of $100,000 would be worth $96,500 in 1 year. Negative rates will encourage hoarding. It would be better to keep your money under a mattress. Negative rates are not a viable solution and will only force growth to slow even further. Japan and Europe are currently witnessing this reality. Going negative has not helped to stimulate their economies. So here it goes. Let me continue. It says, in short, when the next recession comes, we are in deep trouble. The Fed has no workable tools available. Therefore, the only solution to continuing on from here would be to never have another recession. This is why it is doing everything in its power to keep the expansion going. Mankind has tried to avoid recessions for thousands of years and has always failed. One thing you can bet every penny on is there will always be another recession. The Congressional Budget Office predicts we will be 30 trillion in debt by the year 2025. And like I said prior, as current time of me recording this, we are 28 trillion now. So we're already in 2021 at 28 trillion. We're going to beat that 30 trillion mark in no time. But even that estimate is overly optimistic because it does not account for recessions. Factor in another 15 trillion in money printing in the next few years to fight a recession, and we could be 40 to 50 trillion in debt by 2025. Now that's more realistic. Yeah, he's right. Yeah, that's it right there. What do you suppose happens to interest rates then? Keep in mind that all of this money has to be borrowed from somebody. At some point, investors are going to demand a higher return for the loans they provide. This is a massive amount of supply and new debt that will hit the market. They say it's not what you don't know that winds up hurting you. Rather, it's what you're certain of that. I'm sorry, I'm just messing up. Let me start over. They say it's not what you don't know that winds up hurting you. Rather, is what you're certain of that turns out not to be true. Everyone is certain that government debt and U.S. treasuries are the safest of all investments. Money has plowed into this debt for 40 years as interest rates have continued lower and lower. This debt has gotten more and more expensive as rates has gone down and down and down. We are in the midst of the biggest bond bubble in human history, all permitted by the Federal Reserve that has fallen asleep at the wheel. When the next recession hits in earnest and with growth nowhere in sight, all of this debt and interest rate manipulation will come back to haunt us. It would be one scary movie. So that's all I'm gonna read from this little introduction of the Great Devaluation by Adam Barata. Barata. I'm pretty sure it's Barata. But it's a phenomenal novel. Definitely check it out. If you want to learn more about what's going on in the current economic landscape, I'm going to talk more about politically about where we're going with this and where this novel ties in and what I believe is really going on with the government. And you already know what I think we should do. Band together, live off the land, teach everybody who has a skill, fishing, hunting. Hell, if you work in a grocery store, you know how to bake, cook meat, you're a phenomenal cook, chef. We need all that. We're going to learn how to live off the land, create our own rules, our own understanding and how we work things, and take Babylon over. Babylon is falling. That's my mindset. And it starts with us building with each other and understanding what's important for what's best for ourselves and our families. Until next time, shalom family. This is Professor XSlave, and I'm out.